back, friends, to another episode of The Way of Wonder. You can also find us on Instagram now at Way of Wonder, whatever, at Way of Wonder. But the of is not spelled with a O, it's spelled with a 0, just to make it complicated. Welcome back to Father Patrick Schultz from the great Midwest. Is Ohio considered the Midwest? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So welcome.
Pretty sure.
I just wanted to tell everybody right now, and I want to hear everybody out there on the internet, today's Father Patrick's birthday. Happy birthday. And I'm going to stop right there because Happy Birthday is a very ponderous song. It just sort of drags to me.
Yes.
It's very dirge-like.
Yeah.
But happy birthday.
It is. Thanks.
Yeah. How old are you?
34.
Ooh.
34.
Oh, you've left the perfect year. Thomas Aquinas says 33 is the perfect year, and it's all downhill from here.
Yeah, the perfect year. It's the year of the Christ. It's the year of the cross. And it was a year of suffering. I mean, it was prickly at points.
Prickly.
So it lived up to the hype.
Well, I hope it isn't as prickly this year for you. Weird sentence.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Right. I hope it's all wine and roses. Just kidding. Every rose has its thorn. To quote from Guns N' Roses.
Be a song.
Well, shouldn't it? Anyway, we digress. We are about to enter into another episode, and we're very excited for everyone who's been following along with us and sharing their comments, and those who are following the new Instagram page, Way of Wonder, where we upload each piece of art or whatever it might be each episode, and you can share and comment and share with a friend. Don't forget to share with friends. Let's get the word out that the Way of Wonder is happening, and it's a wide boulevard. We got room for thousands, millions to journey with us through beauty.
It's a wide boulevard, baby.
It's a wide boulevard. Although Jesus says the narrow way. Anyway,
this is the wide way.
Let's dispense with the metaphors. Father Pat, you're up. I'm ready for beauty.
Baby.
Yeah,
so,
I'm ready. Bring it on.
So we are in the first week of Advent.
Awesome.
And Advent. All right, Bill. If I were to say, give me one word. Like the season of Advent is the season of the...
I was going to say holy stirring, but that's 2 words.
Hyphenated.
It's hyphenated.
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 Yeah, that works too. The word I'm looking for is hyphenated, actually. I'm looking for the word ache. Do we see ache anywhere on the board here? Ache?
Yeah, yes, that's what holy stirring is in my lexicon. Yeah. It is.
So I was thinking about the ache. I was thinking about holy stirrings. I was thinking about all of these things. And the great spiritual master, Thomas Dubay, who you introduced me to.
Oh, man. Mm-hmm.
Ready? So here's Thomas Dubay. We are thirsty with a thirst that nothing, absolutely nothing finite ever quenches.
Oh, man.
Every single choice we make all day long proves that we seek, we desire, we want, we lack. Nothing is enough. We are thirsts in the flesh, incarnated thirsts. We are born this way and will die this way. Yet we will differ in how we seek to slake our thirst. Any vocation must respond to the need for quenching. Thomas Dubay. I know you're destroyed. I know.
I am. I
know.
I love them.
Yeah, good.
His great book is, well, many books, but The Evidential Power of Beauty, where theology and science meet. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite books. But this, this is it. This is right in the zone. Nothing is enough. We are thirsts in the flesh, incarnated thirsts. Like there's your bio. That's what strikes me from this quote. I could put this on, if I was still using social media. Bill Donahue, incarnated thirst.
Like, that guy's weird. I'm not following him.
Yeah. No, I put my job title, theological anthropologist, incarnated thirst.
Incarnated thirst.
I love that we're born this way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's not a mistake. It's not like you're weird or something wrong with you, that you're never satisfied. You're always hungry. You're always pining and thirsting and searching. That means you're human and you'll die this way. Oof. This is as sobering as last week's when we talked about memento mori.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It just strikes me like, so when you look at how this secular world, how it's doing things right now, right? So this time of the year,
Oh, yeah.
you go to any store,
Mm-hmm.
what do you see? Just secular explosion of Christmas stuff everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's almost this attempt, right? So there's so much nostalgia that gets stirred up this time of year, right? The music, the twinkling lights, the decorations, like there's something about Advent that is so nostalgic.
Right.
It just brings you back, and the longing, right? It awakes the longing. There's this sort of rosy retrospective that says, man, if I could only go back to those days, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think the truth is we're hungry for recipes that we haven't eaten yet. I think we want to hear music that we haven't heard yet. I think like we want to be welcomed to a home that we've never been to, right? Like that's what, if we actually search, this is our boy C.S. Lewis. If you search your heart, the thing that you're looking for isn't in the thing that you're desiring. So like the secular culture is trying to sell the satisfaction for the desire, right? Like just more, all of this. If I can bombard you with enough Christmas stuff, will shut your heart's longing down, or it'll finally be satisfied. Like, no, it's never enough.
That's awesome.
It's never enough.
That's awesome. No, I've obviously experientially, I know exactly what you're saying, because it was a couple of weeks ago. This was early November, and I went to Lowe's. That's not product placement right there. I went to a home improvement store, and I had my daughter Sheila, and we walk in. It was like, na 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 na, stuff flying around, and lights and big giant trees.
With fake
and
snow.
she's like, Daddy, and her eyes instantly, she's bedazzled. Christmas tree. It's like, yeah. You got a good solid 4 weeks, kiddo, at least, before maybe 6-7 weeks. So yeah, it's not like it's funny because Lent, the season of Lent, often we have that, the robing of the statues, the removal of certain things, the kind of stoicism that comes in. I don't want to say stoicism, but a barrenness comes in, the desert. But with the secular culture with Christmas, it's really hard to stay in that zone, because it's, instant November 1st, boom, here's a 40-foot statue of Santa, inflatable Santa in my yard, my neighbor's yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't give you the stillness and the quiet and the hunger so that you can pause for a second and start thinking about, who am I? Why am I here? What do I want? The big existential questions that we look at all the time at the Institute, the Theology of the Body Institute. There's just no time for it. It's just like glitter, jingle bells. Too much.
glitter, jingle bells.
It's like, right in your face.
I think that, here's my theory, that if Easter was ever associated with gift giving, Lent would be totally taken over, just like Advent is.
Oh, you're right. That's true.
But because there's no commercial advantage to Easter, like it encroaches with Easter Bunny, it encroaches with like the jelly beans and the eggs and the chocolate, but like that, it's not like we don't exchange gifts on Easter, right? If we ever did, kiss Lent goodbye, right? Because they're both meant to be penitential seasons, preparatory seasons. They're both meant to like enable you to you fast well in order to feast well.
Amen.
Right? That's the point. It's supposed to awaken the ache, right? So in Advent, like the one of the most beautiful things about Advent are those antiphons that we sing. That right? The longing, that you would rend the heavens and come down, right? We hear from Isaiah. I think that's the first Sunday of Advent, I think.
Oh man, that's so good.
like, but if you are like immediately just skip over Advent, go right to Christmas, and just glitter glitter Santa Santa, like
Yeah.
you're never you're never gonna feel your heart. You're never gonna feel your hunger.
All right. Now I'm really
So
my interest is really peaked now about what art you're going to throw at me that is going to gel with the ache
yeah.
and the
Okay.
thirst.
So
Oh man.
this is a piece by Mary Cassatt, who's
Ooh, I
a
love Mary
19th
Cassatt.
century impressionist. This is pastel on paper. This is Louise nursing her child,
Oh man, I love this one.
1898.
I love this painting.
It's
I
currently
love
housed
it.
in Zurich, Switzerland.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I love this painting. As soon as you said Mary Cassatt, I love the Impressionist school, and she was right up there with Degas and Monet, which was fantastic as a woman painter of the time.
Hmm.
Also, I love it. I love it. Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna gaze. I'm gonna gaze here for a sec. Look at that little foot. Look at that cute little foot.
I know. I love that foot.
It's like the little
so
foot from
much.
the Greg Olson painting for just a moment that
Yes.
you shared. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
cue the zoom in. There's
Yeah. How
nothing
about
like
that?
seeing the
Sounds really
little
good.
foot. Babies, I mean, they just
Just that
like
little
adults
toe.
don't do that with our feet usually, but little kids they just do, and you're like, look how cute. It's almost like the wagging of the dog tail. It's like joy and glee and contentment. There's just a little foot moving around.
Hmm.
Look at that flaming dress or top she's wearing.
Yeah.
It's shimmering. How do you do
It
that with
is.
paint?
Well, this is pastels.
Oh,
So
right,
I don't know.
pastels.
I don't even know how you do that with pastels.
Then.
I just don't know how you do this.
Yeah, we don't know anything except
any
it's
of the
beautiful.
pieces. Yeah.
It's
You're
it
talking about
literally
the how.
yeah it literally is it's shimmering. It's like it looks like flame. When you've got a nice fire going and you've got the coals underneath the logs.
Oh yeah.
And they start pulsating. The embers in the fire start pulsating. You're like, whoa, is that alive? It's kind of that vibrant blouse that she's wearing, which sort of connotes like her mother's passion, the mother's passionate love.
I think something that's so, I don't know, beautiful to think about. So like looking at the painting, you can't see her face, the mother's face,
Right.
but is she smiling?
Can we zoom in
Like
on
what
her
do you
face?
like? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're wondering.
Like
You
what's
can't really
her
tell.
expression?
Right.
Like we all know intuitively that she's not scowling. Let's put it that way,
Right. I'll say.
right? Like in this moment, look at those eyes of the baby looking up
I
at
know
mom,
that
right?
sparkle in the eye is gorgeous. Looking right up at Mama. Beautiful. Pastels. I mean, the flesh tones, beautiful. The ear, the quality of the ear, the cheeks. When babies are nursing, they get that flush, in their faces when they first start. I think it's the colostrum, the sweet milk, the first few minutes. There's just that rush and that thrill. It's just a sweetness. Oh, man, what a beautiful painting. Advent, the longing, the thirst. The fact that Jesus is going to do this to the Blessed Mother, the baby Jesus. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Can't
I mean,
get more
it's
incarnated
so
than that.
primordial, right? This whole relationship of mother and child and being nursed at the breast. That even like you keep using the phrase mama. Where does the phrase mama come from? The word
Oh,
mama
yeah. It means
from
breast.
mammary, right?
Yeah, that's
It means
right.
breast.
That's right.
That femininity it just incarnates this closeness, softness, like come here, come closer, drawn in. I will nurture you, I will nourish you, right? And there's an aspect of God's own heart that's revealed in all of this, right? So God is neither male nor female, but there is like God's heart is revealed by masculinity and femininity, right? So
Right.
there's like our body reveals the Trinity. It's all revealed there. So like there's um, when you look at one of the words for mercy in Hebrew is related to the word womb, right? Rahamim. So rechem in Hebrew is related to this in the word family groups, right? Is related to the word rahamim, which means womb. So like God's mercy is wombing, right? It like it's restorative, it's protective, it's um, safe, it's maternal, tender, all of those things. Oh, it's just so good.
I love this zoom, this frame as you just had it there. Thomas just backed out. Sorry, Thomas. Okay. I love this cropping that you did, Thomas. It's just, it's the essence of it. And there's
Yeah.
just, I'm thinking of a quote from Dr. Carl Stern. He was a Jewish psychoanalyst who became a Catholic, and he wrote an incredible book called The Flight from Woman. He wrote it in 1960 something. I think it was the early 1960s, Flight from Woman, an incredible, very philosophical, but incredibly insightful piece about our modern world fleeing from the feminine. And he had this incredible insight about this moment, actually, about nursing at the breast. And he said something about, I'm going to paraphrase it, but he said, this fact that we come into the world and immediately we are consuming, we are drinking, we are nursing. He says it banishes all dualistic heresies. It has the power to banish all dualistic heresies. Like, no, we are this incarnated thirst, right? We're not spirits trapped in a material world. We're not, sparks of light that we have to scrape off the flesh and return to the light. We are incarnated thirst, and this image of nursing is the perfect icon of a human being. Whew.
Yeah. Those first cries of a newborn infant, they're not cries of like, hey, I don't want to be out of there. They're hunger pangs, right?
Hunger cries. Yeah.
Like they're hunger cries. That we come into the world and the first noise we make is essentially, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty.
Ooh.
Right?
Dang.
And look at Christ. Look at Christ on the cross, right? He enters the world. His first cry is, I hunger. What is the thing he says at the very end on the cross?
I thirst.
I thirst.
Dang.
Right? Like bookending his entire human life is hunger and thirst. And what did he come to be? He came and gave himself to us as
Our
food and drink.
All right, turn it off. Stop the presses. I need a minute, everybody. Give me a minute. That's amazing.
Cut the feed.
Cut the feed. Cut it. I need a holy hour stat. Incarnated thirsts, hungers. Dang. Can you pan out now, Thomas? Thank you. Mary Cassatt. Mother Church. Mother Church.
Mother Church.
This is
Yeah,
Mother
there you
Church,
go.
and that's us. We're the baby. Dang, this is kind of my head is sliding into Axio now because I'm starting to think about like, what do I eat and drink every day? Am I intentional about, how sometimes you can go for days where you're just kind of like, you're so busy, you're so running, you stop, you get gas, you run in and you grab some whatever, some prepackaged thing, or you just eat in haste. I hate when I do that, but I do it. And for some reason right now, my Axio, I'm starting to think about how I should sort of pause and be intentional about what's coming in to my mouth. What am I eating and drinking? And, I'll say grace before meals and things, but getting back into this, I am an incarnated thirst. I am a hunger. It's just making me think about being really intentional about the sacramentality of the food and drink that I'm taking in. Anyway. Shooting from the hip here, but that's what I'm just it was coming to me.
I'm just thinking about, again, how different just the juxtaposition between like this image, this moment, like this is what, okay, so like when you come into the Christmas story, right? Christmas Eve, there's the child, there is the mother. Like this might as well be Mary and the infant, the
Totally,
newborn
yeah.
Christ.
Right.
And just how different this moment is from the glitter glitter Santa Santa. Right? It's so different than that big box home improvement store that you walked into.
Yeah. Which shall remain unnamed, even though I named it earlier.
Yeah, there's just so much. It's quiet. It's so focused, like the child gazing into the mother's eyes, mother gazing into the child's eyes. You know, I think we're so afraid that there's not going to be any face to meet us in our hunger. There's not going to be a breast to meet us in our hunger. That we just gorge on the fast food, if you will, the
Yeah.
the prepackaged snacks of the world, right? Like I think that's why, like especially this season, where so much nostalgia gets stirred up, which we could also say is just hunger is thirst.
Yeah.
Right? So much longing, it gets stirred up. That we're just so afraid that it's so big. Could it ever be met and actually satisfied? Like I think that's why we just distract ourselves.
Yeah.
I think that's why we numb ourselves.
I agree.
Like what's interesting for me, like over the years, like I've gone on this really interesting journey, I guess, with when it comes to Advent, Christmas, all that stuff. Like I used to be like in seminary, I was the guy who was annoyingly playing Christmas music November 1st. I was decorating my room with Christmas lights and trees, and I mean, I was all about it, you know. I guess just like the more I've walked with the Lord, and especially the more I've walked with Mary, the deeper the Lord's drawn me. The more I've really just like detoxed to see like,
Wow.
gosh, that's not what I'm looking for.
Dang.
Like all it's doing is stirring up nostalgia and not actually, it's not the breast. It's just a thumb.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
I want the breast.
Wow. Wow. I love the this dichotomy that you're laying down here of the satiating through the secular or stepping into the ache and the hunger. And it's taken me back to a memory. I remember, going to big family events when I was young, mom's side of the family or dad's side of the family. And the season was always, there was tons of cousins, there was packed houses, aunts and uncles, lots of activity, warm, tons of smells, lights, trees, lots of stuff. And after a while, I would just get so I needed some solitude. I needed to like get out, and it's taking me back to a memory right now of just stepping outside, say my grandma Donaghy's house in Cranberry, New Jersey, and stepping outside, and she lived in a sort of her and my grandpa lived in a roundabout, so it was just like a cul-de-sac, I guess you'd say it. And I would just walk out into what Walt Whitman would say, the mystical moist night air. And I just loved that blast of cold December air and stars and barren tree branches. And I just instantly just felt so refreshed and decluttered from all the noise and heat and sensory overload.
Yeah.
And I want to really, this Advent, focus on that again, of being intentional about stepping away, not running from the hunger, but stepping into it, feeling the cold, looking up and, letting the barrenness speak to me a little bit more.
Yeah.
And not to be like a nirvana or like a emptiness or a void, but to look at this painting by Cassatt. Like you said, zooming in on it, there's one thought, one image really here. It's simplified to just this one loving gaze, where what Jesus says, my flesh is true food, my blood is true drink. I want to be intentional about just let me get into that, let me plug into that.
can I just copy your Axio? Like that right there. Like that's just like, yeah, copy
Ditto.
paste. That's
Okay, let's
honestly, yeah. That's it. Mary Cassatt, man.
She's awesome. So good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Father Pat.
You are welcome, man.
This is so much fun. All right, so I'm going to put that up on the Instagram page too. Don't forget, gang, to follow along because we're going to try to the YouTube channel. Of course, this podcast is where you can drop your comments and share your hashtag wow moments. But we're going to try to put the images up on Instagram for more conversation and questions and insights too each episode. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, whatever you got to do to just spread it. Why? Because we're all hungry for beauty. And
Amen.
we need this wonder again to enter in and find our humanity. Oh, yes. Well, happy birthday again.
Thanks, bud.
So Advent, baby, and enjoy this holy season, Father Pat. It is my turn next week, and we might have to stay during Advent. We might have to kind of linger in this beautiful maternity and paternity, the Holy Family, and the waiting. So we'll see. God bless you, brother.